What about you? Have you experienced that kind of neurotypical, neurodivergent kind of clash in your experience working with others in that kind of process?
What happens is neurotypical heads are clashing with neurodivergent heads, and there's a bit of a discombobulation there, because no one on both sides is going to have any idea what does one person need to better understand this person. That's the biggest hurdle for pretty much any industry. And neurodivergent peeps like myself are sometimes going to have a little bit of a hassle just to communicate that. From a young age, for example, I've been having a hard time articulating answers accordingly and as fast as possible. And I still do. Hence why you may sometimes hear me pause for a bit and try to repeat myself.
See, I think that's a really great insight. Like, I think that's something that's really important to share, because from my point of view, there isn't really a job or an industry really on the planet that is easy for neurodivergent people to, one, get a job, and two, keep a job. And that's obviously and clearly a worldwide issue for neurodivergent people, because we're put under these standards, this idea of neurotypical professionalism. And then you add to that the fact that, you are autistic, you are neurodivergent, and therefore, you have strengths, but you also have challenges. And clearly, in a fast-paced, artistic, creative filmmaking world, they don't want to, or they don't care if you can't just spit out your answer or your thoughts, right? They just want it, and that's the way they demand it. That's the biggest challenge. How can you convey that? Do you find you're still trying to explain to people the same thing over and over with regards to, how you come across different?
Yeah, that's another big challenge for me. Like, how do I tell all these neurotypical people, oh, I do have the answers to some of your problems. The only difference is the time it's going to take me to answer all your questions. And even then, one question at a time, so I can fully articulate all the answers. That's usually how it goes. And even then, there's the other outside complicating factor, like, that is my mind switching to what I'm going to call a mind game, where I easily get distracted by, for instance, a Saturday morning cartoon that I used to watch that suddenly comes back into my head, and particularly in private spaces, I repeat that out loud to myself, or at least as quietly as I can.